Hey guys, Andres Gamboa here, and in this Pony Express short, we sat down with Michelle Mitchell, who is the co-founder of the national brand Hum Kombucha. You guys might have heard about this brand before, wonderful product, but I addressed some of the questions that a lot of entrepreneurs have that are maybe finding themselves struggling to grow their business. And so the main question we answered was, why isn't my business working? Why isn't it growing the way I expected it to? What are some books or some notable tips to help your business grow? And of course, how can I improve morale in my workplace? And so we had a phenomenal discussion about all of these topics and more. If you guys want to check out the full episode, just click on the card up here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this short.
We read a book early on, and it's called Entrepreneurial DNA. Gosh, I haven't even thought about this for a while. Entrepreneurial DNA, and it's by Joe Abraham, and he has this system called Bossy, BOSI, and he basically says that an entrepreneur has four different elements. Typically, you don't have all four. You're like one of these BOSI. B is the business person. They just love business for business. They don't care what you're selling. They just like business. O is opportunist, and they're like in for the next shiny object. They're just whatever next shiny object. S is your specialist. They're the ones that are, your lawyers that open up a private firm or chiropractics or whatever. They are specialized in something. And then I is the innovators, and they don't care if you sell a single thing. They just love to make something awesome. So what we recognized in our company is that I'm an I. Like, I don't actually care how much kombucha we sell. I appreciate that we sell a lot of kombucha because it is my livelihood. And the more people that buy kombucha, the more people that work at Hum, and I really care about our team. But I just like to create stuff. So I'm an I. Jamie's an O. My business partner, she's an O. We had enough S's around us, but we didn't have that business person for a while. And that's when we hired that. We ended up hiring Eric as our CEO. Yeah, that completed it. So it's a different way of saying, yeah, I mean, get people to do the stuff that you don't like. Like, you ultimately have to have all those things to run a successful business. And I think it's super important to be really aware of what you like and what you're good at. And then also what you're willing to do, even if you're not so good at it. Be really clear about that, because if you're willing to do it for a little bit, and you can, cool, you're going to learn something new. But if you're not, call a spade and get somebody else to do it.
Wow. And there's such a powerful lesson right there. Oh, I love that you said that. Such a cool, powerful lesson right there of like, hey, sometimes the speed of the team is more important than your ego, right? You have to understand that there's things that aren't about you, but for the sake of the company, it's important to let it go and admit that, hey, that's not just this. I'm just not good at this certain aspect of things, right? Or not even that you're not good at that, but there's someone better at this than I am. And so I should just let that person shine in that role, right? And they'll do it for free almost, right? Because they just love to do that.
Totally.
That's so awesome. I'm glad you mentioned that book. There's a book, and for people listening out there, that's really helped us out a ton. I'm not saying that this is not unsolicited advice. This is just for people listening. There's a book called Scaling Up by Vern Harnish. Amazing book that's really helped create basically the whole point. It reminds me of that bossy thing that you were talking about. But his perspective is more along the lines of a system. So at the company here, one of the things that we say is we have to build systems in such a way, like the North Star, or the point of like, we know we got it, which you'll never reach it, but ideally, in an ideal world, our systems are so good and everything's set up so good that if we all just took off and replace every single person, you wouldn't even notice that the podcast changed, because the systems are in such good place. So that's a huge, if you guys are listening, what is it? Entrepreneurial
DNA. Yeah. Joe Abraham.
And then Scaling Up, Vern Harnish. Highly recommend. That's such a cool, I'm glad that I'm going to read that book. That book.
It's a great one.